This right here is a pile of 3 different versions of my favorite drawing accessory for the iPad. Not only do they make drawing on the iPad a lot more comfortable, they also make it feel like the iPad is so much bigger because you're not resting your hand on the actual screen.
Sick, that's tight.
So this first one is the Sketchboard Pro, and it's the first one of these that I got, and I loved it. I was very happy with it, but after using it for a while and comparing it with other options,
Wait, what's that one?
which I'll talk about in a minute, I felt that it was a little heavy, a little clunky, and these little legs on the back are a little wobbly. And there's no adjustability in terms of height or anything like that. And you don't have the option of drawing like vertically if you wanted to do this kind of angle. You can't do that.
Actually, Chris,
there
that's
is
not true. Hey,
legs on.
that's
Wait,
not true.
can you? Wait, what am I talking
wrong.
about? I think you can do this. Did I not know this? Yeah, so I guess you can draw vertically. That is not the problem. You can't, I don't know. You can't adjust the height. Shortly after using the Sketchpad Pro, Astropad announced the Darkboard, and this right here is the Darkboard. This is the one that I found myself gravitating to, mainly just because it's so light. It's made out of like foam, and it works pretty well. The one thing I will say is that if you have your iPad plugged in while you're working, it can get a little hot. Some people have told me that their iPad is overheated. There was one time that mine said it had gotten hot and it was just gonna stop charging at full capacity or something for a little while until it cooled off. That only happened once though. The Astropad has this like stand thing. I'm not going into too much detail about Astropad and the original Sketchboard Pro because I have a whole video comparing them. Although this is light and I like to bring my iPad from downstairs to upstairs after I'm working and I'm drawing at night watching TV. Wow. This is just nice and light. I also liked that I could pop this one up like this in a vertical format if I wanted it to like sit off to the side as like another display or something like that. It was good, but I just got the new Sketchboard Pro 2, and that's this baby right here. And I like it a lot. I've been using this one exclusively since I got it. I haven't wanted to switch back to the Darkboard. I still like the Darkboard. It is still a little bit lighter, but they made the Sketchboard Pro 2 more versatile. It's a little bit smaller. Original Sketchboard Pro. Sketchboard Pro 2. Is this helpful? But it's not too small. I was worried that if it was smaller, I was going to miss that extra size, but I think it's the perfect size. Instead of having those floppy legs, it's got these little posts. I think these are a pretty solid idea, though it's a little concerning that they're so loose and small and like easy to lose, but they allow for a lot of possibility. And when you're not using them, you just stick them down here and they just sort of pop in. I wish it was a little bit tighter, I wish it clicked or something. Just love a solid click. Something so that I didn't feel like they were gonna fall out. Click. But on the bottom of the Sketchboard 2, we just got all these little holes that you can put them in for different possibilities. So the first one, I also like that you don't have to screw them in. They just push in and they're pretty sturdy. Like they're not the most sturdy thing in the world, but they're sturdy enough. And now we've got this, which is similar to the other angle on the original Sketchboard Pro, which is pretty good. But you can also put them in this second option here, like that. And now we've got a higher option, which is pretty good, and it's still sturdy, no issues there. You can also put them in the bottom to get this type of situation, which is pretty cool, like this. And it's pretty sturdy. You could draw like this. You could use it as another display. I like that it's not as, sloppy as the Darkboard sort of is, because it's like foam and just sort of resting in that other thing. This feels a little cleaner. I also like that it comes in white. It's just, I like to change things up a little bit. Matches my, my microphone. I don't know. I don't have a ton to say about this, but I wanted to talk about it because I really love these things like the Sketchboard Pro and the Darkboard. I think they make the iPad such a better experience for drawing on, and I wish that I got one of these sooner. This Sketchpad Pro has a slot to plug in, which is a little bit easier to use than the one on the original. The other one on the original is pretty finicky and kind of tight. This one gives you more space. Both of them have this removable inner cradle thing that you could swap out if you got a different size iPad or something like that. So it's upgradable. The dartboard is, you know, one size fits what you bought. It's a nice material. It's a little bit more matte than the black one. It could just be a result of the color. The black one was a little bit shinier, which I wasn't crazy about. But the legs are sturdy. They're easy to move. They're easy to pop out. This one doesn't have any of the cooling issues because it's got a big open area on the back and it's not thick foam. And it's the right size. I think it's just a nice iterative update from the original. And I think they nailed it. Do you use any drawing accessories like this? I know in my last video, lots of people wanted to comment about how I was crazy for buying one of these things when you could just make your own. And people are talking about carving them out of wood and all this stuff. And listen, sure, you can save some money doing that, but I don't have those woodworking skills. And spending the time to learn those things and, you know, I don't have the time for that. And then it defeats the whole point of because time is money and I'm losing time by constructing. I've heard some people make them out of foam core. Sure, whatever works for you. But I think the Sketchboard Pro 2 is really great. It's also something that I use for my illustration, and as a professional illustrator, that's a business expense. So, I don't know. Have you used one of these before? Or the dartboard? Or the regular sketchboard? Are you thinking of upgrading to the Sketchboard 2? Let me know in the comments. Hope this was helpful. Good talk.